One of the things that we had been doing is really listening to what our community was wanting out of their police department. And one of the things that we consistently heard, and quite frankly, even when I drive around the city, I'm sure when you drive around the city, we start seeing all of these registrations that are expired. And I know it's incredibly frustrating. I pay my registration fees, and you have people who are driving around with anything from a month to over a year in some of the cases that you see these expired tags. And we got a lot of feedback from our community saying, hey, why am I paying my registration and these people are getting away with not paying theirs? What are the police doing about it? Obviously, with our staffing issues, I've had to be really observant about how I prioritize what our officers are doing. And even in the driving traffic realm, we were really prioritizing dangerous driving habits. But I wanted to make sure and let the citizens know we are listening to you, and that's what this week is about, is really trying to enforce those expired tags. Yeah.
You said in the release there would be extra enforcement efforts. Talk to me about what that looks like. What are people going to be seeing out on the road?
Well, so what we're doing here at the local level, and I think even more importantly, what we're doing across the Front Range, is that we're providing extra officers out there really solely looking for expired tags. If you think about it sort of as that click it or ticket initiative that's been big for many years, this surge of enforcement effort is really putting more officers out there that are really proactively looking for those expired tags. I think one of the things that's important to know is Commander Castro and Lieutenant Reeser from our Specialized Enforcement Division, I really asked them, would you look and contact our sister agencies across the Front Range and see if they'd be interested in doing an initiative along the entire Front Range. So one of the things that you'll see, or that citizens may see, not only driving here in Colorado Springs, but from Pueblo, Fountain PD, State Patrol, us, Monument PD, the Sheriff's Office, Denver and Aurora, are all participating in this. So along the entire Front Range, if you got expired tags, expect that you may be stopped by one of those agencies.
What are some of the consequences for those who may be stopped with expired tags?
So expired tags themselves are a Class B infraction. So it really is about a fine, and you can get a fine from anywhere from $15 to $100 for that type of infraction. We do have a city ordinance that went into effect in May that it's titled a little bit different than the Title 42 fail to register at the state level. This one's failing to display. So you could be written into the city court, or you could be written into the county court, but both of them are fines.
Something that we hear pretty often is that there's a lot of fees that are associated with getting registration. So what does the police department have to say to those people?
So, and the fees are a little bit different, right? That comes from the Department of Motor Vehicles. So when we write a ticket, the courts can fine under that traffic, or the Title B Class B traffic infraction, which is that $1,500. But when you go to register your vehicles through the Department of Motor Vehicles, they then can assess those additional fees, which are late fees, and those can compound monthly. So that's really their program, but it is going to cost you money because you failed to register your vehicle. Yeah.
Can this be a primary offense to be pulled over for the tag?
So it can be a primary offense. Most of the stuff that we're seeing is our officers really stopping somebody for speeding, for example, and they have an expired tag, or they're at a traffic accident, or they're doing something that's more dangerous, and we're getting them stopped for those reasons. And then it's an additional charge right onto whatever fines they might be getting, or what other points are assessed from that other violation. Yeah.
What about the good people that pay their bill, but I always like to pay it because I get that 30-day grace period.
Sure.
So I think I get an extra month out of it. I know I don't.
Uh-huh.
In my mind,
Right.
are you guys targeting those people as well who are, like mine was October,
No.
so
Right.
September?
Yep, and there's an allowance in the statute that allows you to have that 30-day grace period. We probably all do that. We wait till the last minute, or if you do a mail-in, maybe it gets there a little bit late. That's perfectly fine as long as you're within that 30 days.
Are you guys planning on, I know in Denver they patrol the airport parking lot, and ticket, fine, I don't know the word is. Are you guys planning on doing that here?
No, we haven't really looked at that as part of our operational planning. I think one of the things that we'll see is, best practices. How can we approach this? So I'm sure you'll see this again in the future. I think we're seeing some great benefit. As of the beginning of this week to just before I came in here, we'd written about 175 of these already, just here in Colorado Springs. And so we'll see what those numbers look like at the end of the surge on Saturday. But I think it's going to be something that our public will appreciate, to know that we are paying attention to this. Just under the new ordinance, just to give you an additional number, we initiated that new ordinance in May, and we've already written about 850 tickets under the new ordinance. So we are seeing some really proactive activity from our officers, and I think we just need to talk about it a little bit more, because it is frustrating.
You said 175.
From the beginning of this week to just before I came up here, yes.
And why this week? Are you planning on continuing this after?
Yeah, so I think we just kind of randomly chose, and Pam could probably talk about that a little bit more, about just trying to coordinate with the agencies across from Pueblo up to Denver. This seemed to be a good week for us to all be able to have enough time to plan it, to get officers available, and to go out and do it. So there wasn't anything special about the week other than it was a great coordinated effort. I think once we see what the overall numbers are across the Front Range, that'll tell us how effective it was, right? And so I think we can plan these again in the future, especially trying to keep people sort of motivated to know that this is coming again.
And you said extra officers are going to be patrolling for this. How are you making that happen?
Generally, that's going to be on overtime. Sometimes we can free officers up through shifts and stuff, but really our officers are very taxed during their normal shifts, just doing calls for service, answering the normal call load. So typically when we do these type of enforcement or surge efforts, it'll be officers volunteering their on their off-duty time on an overtime basis.
Talk to me about what it means to have this blanket area of enforcement from Pueblo all the way up to Denver. What does it mean to you to be partnered with all these other agencies all working towards the same goal?
Well, one of the things, and I think that's a great question, because I think it's important for citizens across that area to know, really law enforcement as a whole, especially those here in Colorado, we really are very proactive about helping each other out and making sure that we are having these concerted efforts and depending on each other. I think the message to the public, especially those that are law-abiding and have their registrations up to date, is, hey, I did get mine done, and they are doing something about it. And I can't drive really from Denver all the way down to Pueblo without the potential for really being cited for this. And maybe they felt a little bit comfortable before something like this, but I think this will kind of send a message saying, you really need to get in and get registered.
Has there ever been like a crackdown of this size in the past?
Not to my knowledge, not for expired tags. We've done them for DUIs, of course. We do them for other kinds of more dangerous driving habits. But to my knowledge, we certainly, in my time, haven't done something very specific to expired tags.
What is the ultimate goal, would you say, by the end of this week, by the time Saturday rolls around? What are you hoping people have in mind, or what should they be doing?
More than a number of citations, really, the idea behind this is to really encourage people to do what they're supposed to do and go register. So I'd be incredibly happy if just through this news story, people are like, man, I better go do it. And we inspired the people that don't have their tags, that haven't registered appropriately. I would be perfectly happy not writing another ticket. It really is not about revenue generation. It is about compliance, and it's about everybody else doing the right thing, so why aren't you?